Join us right here on the Splash Live. We have Deputy Chief for West Bloomfield Township Police Department, Dale Young. Appreciate you for being here, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Doing just fine. I want to kind of pick your brain a little bit about this from some neighboring communities that are experiencing or going through some mental health responses and training and things of that nature. What role do you see West Bloomfield Police Department playing in supporting mental health initiatives in our community?
Yes. So one of the things I'd like you to know is the fact that in West Bloomfield, in the police department, that we've been investing in mental health training for some time. One of those initiatives is actually the crisis intervention team training. It's an initiative that we've been committed to eventually get all of our officers trained in. And we've been doing that probably for like several years now. And as openings are available in the CIT training offered by Oakland Community Health Network, we're sending people at least a few officers a year.
Interesting. So I like Tyler mentioned earlier, we have to kind of look at it on both sides of the coin. If we're being real, right? Officers who deal with certain incidents on a frequent basis, as well as people or residents in the community who may be calling and dealing with mental health. So can you speak on the resources available for is there a difference between the resources for the residents and the officers, or can you just talk about the difference?
Absolutely. So everyone, including the community and the officers, have access to Common Ground Resource and Crisis Center. Their organization is open 24/7, and there's actually a phone number I'd like to share. It is 1-800-231-1127. And that phone number is available 24/7, and it allows someone to be connected with someone in the mental health field that would be able to assist them in whatever crisis that they're going through at that time. For the employees that we have a couple different avenues for them. One is our employee assistance program, and then the other one is actually our peer support team, which, as the name implies, it is made up of other police officers within the West Bloomfield Police Department that offer an ear to the officers that might be experiencing some health issues, in whatever moment.
No, I get it, and trust me, as someone who knows law enforcement, best friends with some, I understand, like, you deal with a lot, so I know those resources are important for the officers and for the department as well. It's not just for residents. But with us right here on the Splash Live, talking about mental health and resources in general from the West Bloomfield Police Department, we have Deputy Chief Dale Young. Now, how do you feel the relationship between local law enforcement and community mental health organizations can possibly be improved to better support individuals who are experiencing these mental health crises?
I think the collaboration between law enforcement and those organizations is critical. I think it's critical for the community. I think it's critical for the officers within the department. And one way that we can improve that relationship is just to be around each other more, to educate each other on what we can bring to the table.
Yes, and I think that's so important too. More collaboration between local communities who do focus on that, and law enforcement who kind of look at situations from a completely different perspective. Also, to have your word and kind of say that kind of makes sense and puts it together. I want to pick your brain about a slightly different topic. We were kind of looking through some incidents and talking about Oakland County Sheriff's Office significantly improving its drone usage since its initial attempt in 2012, integrating it in almost all operations. So with that being said, in what ways do you envision the use of drone technology within your law enforcement department at West Bloomfield Township?
So, Kevin, right now we do have a few drone assets, and we have a number of people that are trained as drone pilots, and we have used them in live events several times. And what I can tell you is, much like the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, their position on how drone technology is going to increase, get better, and that you'll see more agencies going to it. I totally agree. I think that what you're going to see is that we're going to invest more heavily in drones as the years continue. We're looking at the Oakland County Sheriff's Office and looking at the model that they have for something called drones as first responders. And although we are not to the point where we can have as robust of a fleet as they do, we are confident that over the years, we're going to at least have what we need for West Bloomfield.
Got you. Completely understand it. And as technology grows and technology usage grows, and we start to see real live examples of our local law enforcement using these drones and actually solving some of these crimes and situations, we can only understand why we advocate for those. So with us right here live on The Splash, Deputy Chief Dale Young from West Bloomfield Police Department, just talking about mental health resources, technology resources within West Bloomfield Township. When we are using these drones, though, we have to be honest, and I'm really looking forward to your answer on this. There's still a balance between using it effectively for public safety as a tool and also respecting privacy of other residents who have nothing to do with it, you know, possibly looking into that. So how do you all balance that relationship in that line also?
So we've had drones for a number of years now, and one of the first things that we did is that we crafted a policy to make sure that we are policing ourselves, but also that we are respecting the laws surrounding the use of drones, which, by the way, drones are unmanned aircraft systems, or UAS for short. And just to give some examples of the ways that we use them, it could be that somebody has walked away from their home in the middle of the night. Maybe they have Alzheimer's or dementia or some other impairment, and it allows us to get a different view by flying the drone in the area that they were last seen. We've also used them on accident reconstruction scenes where the drones go up in the air and they're able to take measurements and pictures that are more precise, and has become very helpful in those investigations. And then, of course, if there is a critical incident, and I'm going to completely make this scenario up, but I'll, give you a good example. If we get a call about a person with a gun that is pacing back and forth in some parking lot, one of the ways that we could use the drone is that we fly it out there and we get a bird's eye view of what's happening at that time, relay that information to the officers so the officers can respond to that scene more safely, and the safety for public and for that individual.
That makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad you provided that just that example also, just to kind of put it in perspective of how it's used and how it can actually help the response time and the safety of our officers also. I really do appreciate and respect that. Hey, while I do have you, Deputy Chief Young, any additional words about your resources, mental health resources, or anything of that nature for the community?
Just I want to reiterate again that anybody feeling like they are in crisis, I encourage you to contact Common Ground Resource and Crisis Center. They're open 24/7, and that phone number again is 1-800-231-1127.
Thank you again. From the West Bloomfield Township Police Department, Deputy Chief Dale Young. We definitely appreciate your time and information, sir.
Thank you, Kevin.